All right, so Unit B, we are talking about functions. What are functions? What do they look like? In Algebra 1 and before, you talked a lot about linear functions, right? Or you talked about quadratic functions. So today we're just talking about what is a function in general. So let's go in and let's see some definitions. So before we even get to a function, we're talking about a relation. A relation is a correspondence between two sets where each element in the first set, the domain, corresponds to at least one element in the second set, called the range. So think about this as just like a relationship. We have inputs and we have outputs. These are like our x values and our y values, okay? So normally they're in like a T-chart. A function is a very specific type of a relation where every input has exactly one output. So for example, if you look at this example, we're having people match their birthday. Would you ever have a person that would have more than one birthday? No, right? So if you look at all these, there's no one has two arrows coming outside of their name. So this is yes, this is a function, right? But look at this. -2 goes to 3, but -2 also goes to 5. So that input, -2, doesn't have a single output. We don't know exactly what its output is. So this is not a function. Number 3, this is not a function. Look, Kevin has more than one output. He has more than one child, right? Same with Stephanie, more than one child. Christy, more than one child. So this is not a function, right? The domain is just what's in the left, right? This is the domain. So I'm going to kind of say, here's the domain. The domain here is right here. Here's the domain. What if I wanted to know the range, right? That is just the outputs. Output, 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 right? Not too terrible. What about if we just had numbers, right? The outputs are going to be all of our y values. The outputs are going to be all of our y values, which are like 3, 4, 4, 7, 4, 4, 5. And the inputs are in our domain. So domain and range, okay? So let's see if these ones are functions. Here, every input only has one output. No x values repeat, right? No x values repeat. So that means yes, it's a function. All right, but if you look right here, look, -1 has more than one output. So this is not a function. So you're looking for repeated x values whenever you're looking in here. Now, let's say we have a picture. We don't necessarily have a list like this. So we have a test called the vertical line test. And the vertical line test tells us if things are functions or not. So let me show you how to use it. You actually did use this in Algebra 1. So the vertical line test says basically I will take my pencil and draw a bunch of vertical lines. And if at any point my vertical line ever touches more than one point, so for example, like here and here, it is not a function. So this is not a function, and this is good. So it's really nice because then you don't actually have to list them. So all I want you guys to think about is what is a function, what is not a function, how can we tell from the graph, how could we tell from, for example, these are called mapping diagrams. These things right here, let me circle it for you. This right here is called a mapping diagram. This is just a table. So can you tell me what the domain and the range are? Can you tell me what a relation is? Can you tell me what a function is? And can you tell me